All right, so for carving in printmaking, first, some information that you'll need to know is you're going to be using this carving tool, and I will be changing out the blades for you. We have 5 different sizes of blades that we have available. The first is extra small, and I honestly don't suggest this one very much because it doesn't quite carve deep enough to make sure that we don't get ink welling up in the lines that you create with it. But if you have some really small details, you can always give it a shot. The main one that I encourage use to start with and for all of your small details is the size 2 small. Then we have a medium and an extra large that are great for carving out large areas. Um, I will be changing out the blades for you, but if for some reason you are carving at home and you need to be changing out the blades yourself, what you're going to do is you're going to turn this part to the left, lefty loosey, righty tighty, so that it's a little loose and the inner pieces kind of jingle around a little bit so that you can take your blade and insert it into the hole. When you're inserting the blade in, you want to look and find where it's got the words and it's kind of more of a gentle curve than a deep V. And that's the part that goes in. The deep V is the part you're going to be carving with. Inside here, there is a thin piece and then like a big ball, and you want to go in between the ball and the thin piece. And then you will turn this to the right to tighten it, get it nice and tight so that he doesn't wiggle out on you. And so that's how to do your blades. If you were working at home, you would want to store the extra blades I gave you in this back handle section and keep that closed up so that you don't lose any of those pieces. Now at school, I trade out these blades for you because I don't want the little pieces inside to get lost. So couple things to go over before you get started carving. First, you're going to be carving out the Sharpie. So whatever we have Sharpied on our design, that's what's going to get carved away. I also highly suggest that you outline your edges with a small blade, which is what I just put on this one. And then you can change out to a larger blade to get the remaining area. So this one I kind of demoed a little bit where I carved around this outside, and now I'm using a larger blade to go in here. You want to avoid having really choppy edges. So that's another great reason why you kind of go around and do the outlining first. Now, when you're holding the carving tool, you want to hold it with your dominant hand. So if you're right-handed, you'll hold in your right hand. If you're left-handed, left hand. And you aren't going to hold it like a pen or a pencil. You're actually going to hold it kind of like a scoop. So you want to be holding it more parallel to the table, less angled. All right, because we are not stabbing, we are not like shoveling out our carving. We are doing kind of like a scoop of ice cream where we're trying to get those little layers out. I've also heard like gliding on ice, right? You got your ice skate that's kind of gliding on your plate. The other thing with your carving is you're going to hold your plate with your non-dominant hand so that you can kind of stabilize it and keep it from running away from you as you're applying the pressure to carve. And you're also going to be using this to rotate your plate as you're carving. It makes it a lot easier when you're doing curved lines to not have to go curved with your arm, but instead keep your carving straight and you curve your plate to kind of help with that. So always make sure that you're checking that you're carving away from your body and away from your non-dominant hand that's holding your plate. So you always want to carve away and kind of curving the plate. So for carving itself, we're going to, again, hold it parallel and follow the edges first. And try and really make sure that your edges stay nice and clean. And you're kind of just scooping out these little pieces. You want to make sure that you go deep enough that the lowered area isn't going to catch any ink from your roller, but you don't want to go too deep because you could tear through the other side of your plate, and that just has the possibility of your plate kind of cracking. So again, carve away from my body and rotate that plate around to help me with any curves. And just go until all of your Sharpie is carved out. Be careful when you're carving to not carve away too much, because we can't uncarve something. Once it's carved out, it's gone, and that is going to be the way that the design looks. So just know that it will all be okay, and go slowly and carefully, getting out just the things that you need. So I hope this tutorial will help you as you carve your design.